and they're showing no signs of really losing that lead right now. I mean, Exertus, you're looking at this, and you might be able to give us some insight. Like, what are they doing wrong? Where do they attack right now? I mean, obviously, you need those 2 flags, but every time they go in, they kind of just get slaughtered.
Well, they finally won out on the B side, which is pretty much, I was waiting for them to do the B side pickup and then focus back towards A because C just wasn't working. Let's be honest here. They need to draw away the players like Kremer and Melisium who've been dug down towards another site and then focus on maybe re-pushing back towards C if that's what they really wanted. But the way it's going, they don't seem to have the focus towards the sites they want to push. They seem to be going in dribs and drabs. You can see A has once again been claimed by InFamouS. And, you know, rather than having A, now they just have B. However, the respawns will suit the back A spawn. You know, they can kind of push it a little bit quicker. So they might be able to pick this one up eventually, but the tickets are getting low.
They definitely are. I mean, look at that, 87 to 39 here, and they're able to hold on to that A push at the same time. And, you know, if you look at the scoreboard, you have Melisium at 12 and 7, Krema at 16 and 7. And just to this point, you know, Melisium had more kills than the enemy team did, at least at their highest fragger. And that's not a good sign when you have 2 people really stepping up for your team if you're on Exertus, because if Krema and Melisium stay together, they can hold on to C, and they're doing that right now.
Yeah, they are indeed. And this is turning a bit of a bloodbath in complete honesty. Melisium doing the job. Apricot does come in. It's Melisium who's finding the kills more than anything. And you can see that's a complete wipe there. And I feel that, once again, they just don't have the target set right in this. They're going in with 3 men against 5. They're going in complete, just messy pushes. And this is not what I expected from Exertus. I wanted to see a little bit more. They start off very strong, but you can see the hold now coming down from InFamouS. And as, you know, the French team's kind of cottoned onto, this AC setup works just fine if you get it down, you know, locked in this sort of position. And you constantly maybe expect on back here, you know, you've got the likes of Tony constantly locking this one out. But look at this. Even at an insult to injury, they pushed out towards B, and Melisium might pick this up.
Well, he's going to be able to secure that one, but they're going to lose C at the same time, though. Hiss going to be coming in, trying to go 1v3 here. He does pick up 1 kill over at that C flag. And let's see if he can get any more. He does eventually get dropped, it seems, though. But Tony now coming in. Not going to do something from the top side, and he will get 1. Will he get a second one in that one? Actually, I believe he might have. And he'll pick up even a 3rd in that one. So they do get the control of C. They get a tri-cap at the bare end of the game, and they end the first half with 82 tickets. That's a very strong lead.
To say the very least. InFamouS playing a strong game.
Yeah.
Very well set up. I think the problem was that Exertus seemed to have this one plan in mind that they wanted, and they were so against actually diverting away from that. So rather than going, all right, so they've got Kremer and Melisium on that C flag. Melisium's on 16 to 7 and Kremer 19 to 9. So 2 very strong players. Now you add in the fact that Apricot would occasionally spawn in and push from there. Tony generally focused towards A, Heist kind of roaming a little bit. And they always push towards C, just kind of falling in, giving them these kills. And as soon as they couldn't get it, they didn't really know where to go. Because, let's be honest here, A was fairly weak. They could have overmatched against Tony, send 2 there off the respawn, maintain C with the other 3 players. Sorry, B with the other 3 players. And it would have worked out perfectly. But they just kind of fluffed it a bit on that. And they were just tunnel visioned, okay, we must get C, we must get C.
Yeah.
And they forgot about there's 2 other sites you could have claimed there. They sat at a 1 to 2, and they could have easily sent a couple of players out towards A and actually done a bit of a challenge.
And one thing that was worrying to me for Exertus was the fact that they kept just throwing men at C, like you're saying. They just kept constantly doing it, but they didn't attack C like in, you know, a kind of a Counter-Strike fashion, like have a strategy of actually getting into there. They just kind of flooded in from one direction, and from that, they just got mowed down by, you know, obviously the people just way inside.
Well, that's the bonus of C. You know, C is a literal dug in sight. Yes, it's got a couple of available routes to go down, you know, whether you go through the lower pass, you know, split around the back. There's so many ways you can attack it. But if you go in one at a time, these players just sitting on those stairs, just using, you know, you can literally see that much of their head just, you know, above the staircase. It's a hard shot to hit for one. And then secondly, you're always at a disadvantage. So if you're pushing with like 2 or 3 more members, you can actually do something. If you're going in 1s and 2s against 2, you're not going to get it. You got to overmatch or at least even out.
And the thing is, with the high-level teams that we see, obviously making it into playoffs time and time again, they attack from multiple directions at the same time. They have like this call where, okay, go, and everyone just rushes in because you catch them off guard, and that's what we didn't see at Exertus. But we're kicking off the second half. Let's drop you right back in. It is an 82-ticket lead in favor of InFamouS here, and Exertus, they have to do a lot of work this half if they want to be able to win this first map.
InFamouS being French as hell.
What's that supposed to mean?
They're doing the A push straight up, and they've overmatched it, and I think they might win this. Kreiser is now in trouble. He might get 1. No, he doesn't. He doesn't even get 1. Kremer's pushed out, and they're going to pick up A. And they storm mid every time. Melisium needs to be careful, because now C is vulnerable. But but they can push back quite easily. If he buys time, which is what he's doing, they're going to get the AC hold straight away, and that is the French style that I was talking about.
And they might get a tri-cap too, because Tony got a nice pick on Wyrosh from the backside, just pretty much slowly lollygagged around the B flag. And he's obviously not capping it over, but he's keeping 2 men there. And if he can just stay alive, that's 2 men that won't be, at least 1 man that won't be at another flag at C to defend against it, because C's being pushed on InFamouS. They're going to at least maintain it for a little bit longer. And A is wide open. This is what you're talking about. We saw Exertus constantly attack, hammer away at that C flag, but maybe if they mix it up, maybe if they set 1 man towards A, have that floater roll that we always see to potentially just kind of pull at least 1 or 2 men away, they would have a better standing in this game.
Yeah, I'm always a little nervous when I see the likes of InFamouS or Gamers Connection starting out on the US side on this map, because they have that perfect start. And now there was an equal matchup on the C side when they pushed in equally, 2v2 pretty much. But then it was just 1 out because they had better positioning coming in from the defending side. And you can see these guys locking it down pretty nicely here.
And one thing we just saw too, if we can look at the overview, is we had 2 men attack from the east side of C and 1 man to the west side. The 2 men went in, died, and then the guy on the west side went in, because it was kind of like, all right, they died, I'll try myself. But it was just constant, the 2 men in the flag just turn one direction, killed him, turn another direction, killed him. They didn't get sandwiched in, and that is really hurting them. But right now, we see a tri-cap come in. We see Malcolm trying to stop it over at the C flag, but he is out, man. He's the last man in the squad here, and those tickets are bleeding away. Remember, 82 is that threshold, and we're already at 104 here for Exertus.
Yeah, and the only danger really doing a trip cap at this point is that you've left A2 weak to maintain. But I think they're going to be okay with this. They can always give up A and then just focus on B and C. It's a long run back to those for the Russian side here.
Well, the 1 man they did leave at A is Krema, and we saw the score he had last time here. He's already picked up 1, maybe looking for a couple more. He's playing it safe. I love what he's doing. He's looking for the second. Will eventually be taken down here. But what he did was he held every single man on Exertus over at that A flag, allowing them to build up more tickets. Because look at that, 88, 87 now, 5 more to go, and they've won the first map.
Really smart play, I've got to say it, coming out from InFamouS there, utilizing the map to the best of its ability, holding Exertus back. And I love this sort of style, I really do. It's paid off perfectly. There's a bit of a threat coming down towards C, but it's going to be maintained regardless, because C can also be quickly adapted over to or A. You can see Apricot already heading out towards the A flag, so smart play from him. And it may slow down the game, but not for long.
Yeah, I mean, what, 1 more kill? You can't even respawn in anymore as Exertus. Yeah. And with having 135 tickets to work through, the chances of that really happening are pretty slim to none here. But, you know, I have to say, I mean, looking at both teams' play style, it just seems like InFamouS are in a complete league above them. I mean, Exertus didn't play terrible, but they didn't play like the team they need to play as to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they played as good individuals, but a slightly weak team. And that's the biggest problem here because, you know, let's be serious. InFamouS have strong individuals as well, and they can depend on the likes of Kremer and Melisium to step up when necessary. At the moment, only 1 flag to InFamouS. They need to pick up 1 or hope the Wiros and Malcolm accidentally respawn, but I believe we've just gone past that threshold.
Yes, we have. So they have dropped down to 81. That is the end of the first map here, and well done, InFamouS. Take a 1-map lead. Obviously, this best of 3. If they win this one, they will go on to the winner's side of the bracket. Obviously, if you win 2 maps overall, you advance into the playoffs. And, you know, right now we're going to be going on to Dawnbreaker here, a map that InFamouS... It's so weird because they started off so well playing on Dawnbreaker, but then out of nowhere, mid-season, they just sucked at it. I remember groups last year. Yeah, last season. They were so good at it. I think they're against Planet Key Dynamics, if I'm not mistaken, or I think it's ESC. They just demolished them, but then out of nowhere, they just lost their steam on it.
Yeah. Also, the one thing I do want to point out is kind of have a little recap of what we saw on Zavod then, especially from InFamouS. So we can hop over to my screen. I'm going to take you through exactly what went down there because in actual fact, it's quite a specific tactic that they use. And, you know, they spawn on this side over here, just down in this corner. And most French teams occasionally, well, they do this. You know, Gamers Connection did it, InFamouS do it, and then other teams adapted the style as well. Fnatic now run something very similar. So they focus on A rather than going out to the standardized B, which is over on the west side. So they'll send, you know, maybe 1 or 2 players here. I think Apricot was actually the player they committed on this side. They put a couple of players through C, but mostly just to challenge in mid around here and here. And they pick up C for free pretty much, which is to be expected. And then they overmatch on A. So they'll have 2 players challenging the 1 out on the A side. So they pretty much split the map kind of like this. And it works very well. The only threat that ever could come from it really would be the random respawns coming back here. But the time it takes to do that is massively long. So smart play all in all for the InFamouS side there, utilizing the map very well. It's a unique kind of strategy that came about after the very standardized, let's just fight over B, because it's kind of random. If you depend on just a site like that to go, let's just hope we pick up the 1v1s, depending on 1v1s is dangerous. Yeah. You know, if the player maybe adapts a touch, gets out an early nade, blah, blah, you could lose out. So playing it safe it's probably the better way to do it. And InFamouS kind of came up with that. They risked leaving C a little weaker at times by maybe only having 2 players on there rather than 3. But still,
But with Crema and Melissa in there, they're just like, all right, you guys got
Come at
this.
me, bro. Yeah, it's a smart way of doing things because sometimes you need to kind of weigh up the values of, you know, the late game to the early game. Sometimes just quickly picking up these sites isn't good enough anymore. You've got to be able to hold them to an extended time. So that's what they're playing for. But the one thing I do want to mention, especially on this map coming up, is this was the one map that Exertus actually challenged Fnatic on. So this could be an interesting matchup coming up. It's a little bit more linear. It doesn't have as many variations as Zavod does. It's not quite as, you know, almost circular with it. It's quite a linear map, so it's a little harder to have those unorthodox holds. However, we are seeing less of an initial stand on towards B now. We're seeing the CA hold coming down a lot, and it's because of the spawns coming in. We'll explain it once we get into game if they go for it, but I'd be very interested to see how the Exertus guys play on this one, because this was a map that they impressed me on.
What I'm worried about, though, is confidence that InFamouS now have. Like, you can never underestimate confidence when it comes to any competitive, you know, esport game.
True.
And I feel like just the fact that they left 2 minutes C, obviously on Zavod, they're just kind of showing that, you know what, we're confident we can beat you in this. We don't even need to have an extra man there. And when it comes into Dawnbreaker, which is kind of, to me, a very aim-dependent map. I mean, there's a lot of strategy involved, but you need to win those 1v1s, and that's where Exertus kind of didn't succeed last time.
But then again, you put them in corridors, you put them down in choke points that you can actually really maintain. We could see something very different, and we can drop into game. And cheeky Crema has gone for the boosty. So he's
the boosty?
Le boosty. It's the French term. But you can see that he's got a nice bit of ground gain. So normally, at the moment that I've found, the teams are adapted a little further away from going for the initial challenge on B. They'll go for the long rotate round towards A and then work their way down. But with this sort of spawn coming out for these guys, I think they're going to go for the B challenge. Not sure what Exertus will do from the start on the US side, but I'll be very interested to see how it kind of works out in the end nevertheless. So I'm going to have to stick on board with these guys, see what they go for. I think it's going to be a B challenge, but then again, that's falling back into the old meta, but I wouldn't be too surprised.
Well, let's see what they do go with. They're just going to boost the man up, start to actually get the respawns on top, and it looks like they're going to just go for it. They're going straight to B here, and as you can see, Exertus only have 2 men there, and Zam, he had a grenade. That would have been a perfect spot to actually throw it at, but he's a little bit too late on it. That's going to be B, starting to be capped over for the side of InFamouS.
Yeah, that was a real mistake from him then, but Malcolm's come up, found Melisium, so already a solid start there, taking down the 1 man on the site. And Tony now going down. Good start for Zam there, picking up the kill finally and locking this one out. So good play, but the center building is being overwhelmed by the InFamouS side. So the likes of Wiros might be a little more passive. And I'm curious to see if they hold this site for Exertus. They might go for the A rotate up the long road, but right now we're going to see Malcolm in trouble. He's been overmatched down by the road. He gets the exchange, but nothing more. And well, at the moment, this should be at least a good start coming out for Exertus. They're holding InFamouS back, and this, funny enough, is the hold that we saw actually working very nicely against Fnatic.
Let's see how it works for them this time here. As you can see, 148 to 136. Exertus, 2 flag hold. It's a good start for them. But now we need to see them like dig deep here. They need to hold on to this. Like I said before, it's not good enough to just cap a flag anymore. You need to be able to maintain it. You need to be able to hold it here. And well, right now, they're building up a little bit of a lead, something that they're definitely going to need here because InFamouS, I think, at least in my opinion, they're kind of okay with giving away the early lead here in this map because they realize how strong they can be on it. And it looks like they're going for the push on a C. They're going to have potential AC hold here. And there's no one even near them from Exertus' side to stop this.
See, there should have been a player back here to stop the random respawn. They negated it, and now they're going to have to, depend on being able to maintain B and also push up towards A. There are still 2 players here for InFamouS, so now they're going to be sandwiched in between. This is a really bad position for Exertus. They need to break through pretty damn fast, and at the moment, InFamouS have the time to be able to reinforce where is necessary. But we are finally seeing the push beginning. Malcolm tries to find Melisium. He goes down. The battle over on the other side. Going a little better for Exertus as Zam does bully his way through, does get the revive, but gets denied in the end. And finally, Melisium comes in to clean up. And there we have it. There's a 2-to-1 hold that's going to be maintained for a little while longer, as really, Exertus only have this B area, and that's not enough to gain an advantage.
The thing is, you look at it just in terms of how this game could go. It's a sandwich. You're just kind of locked in there if they do apply enough men. But obviously, you're kind of always a man down on the other side for InFamouS because you can't commit, obviously, equal sides around that. And, well, Ryraz will be taken down, so C going to be maintained for a little bit longer. B is actually being capped over by the side of InFamouS here. Great position by Melisium. It looks like they will be able to pick this one up. Honestly, the flag is still being capped over. Melisium picks up a nice little shot right there. Looking for a second onto Wyros, but he gets taken down. And, well, Kreiser will at least maintain that B flag for a little bit. But finally, we're seeing some life, though, that we didn't see in the side of Exertus here. And I like to see that right now because the third map, if we do get to it, would be on Goal Mode Railway.
Yeah, and that's always an interesting one. But right now, I think Exertus need to calm down a little bit. They're overcommitting. Tony's going to find 2 on towards C, and that's going to allow a nice jump-off point back in towards B. But look at this 2v1 coming down towards A. Heist needs to get respawns towards him. He needs some helper. He's got 1 player spawning in behind him. I'm not sure that is Apricot here. Fire coming through, but I think Exertus have the numbers to be able to get this A flag in hand. And they've finally broken through. A is just about theirs. B is vulnerable, but they're now pushing back down together, and they could reclaim a 2-1.
Well, it looks like they have been able to do so so far here. 117 to 107. 10-ticket lead, yes, but is a lead nonetheless, considering they lost, what was it, 82 tickets last map. This is definitely a big win for them so far, but they have to keep it up. And that's something I want to keep saying this entire time, because you can't just be good on one map. You can't be that team that just wins the one mapper in a best of 3. And right now, something interesting. Look at Crema. Look what he's rocking right now. He's in the engineer class.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's just to remove some of the cover down here. With that rocket launcher, just to stop the pressure from the balcony. But, you know, at the moment, they finally won it through, and that might help them actually get hold of B, because that area's been constantly dominated by Exertus.
What's so weird is that I think back in the first season of spring, or not winter of last year, we actually saw a lot of control on that catwalk area. But then I guess in this season, I felt like more teams were more worried about dog walk, more worried about the connection between the 2 buildings, watching that side, because obviously you can just hide behind these crates here, get a flag cap, and not have to worry about catwalk at the same time here. But Fireworks will be taken down. InFamouS still a flag down as well. Currently a 20-30 ticket deficit. But I still think they're in it. I mean, Dawnbreaker used to be the map, and we were talking to Dogbert about this, where you easily see 100 ticket leads, you know, at the end of the first half. But it's become more of one of the even maps lately in this season.
And you said it pretty correctly earlier on. It's because this catwalk used to be such a dominated factor, and then teams worked out how to use dog walk to rotate in between. So it became a little bit of a different game there. And we are seeing a nice play from Malcolm around the back. Does pick up 1 at least. They're taking down a good push coming in from InFamouS, who finally won over on towards B. But we are seeing the street push from Malcolm. He could at least open up the C flag if he can spot out the player. Just waiting over the corner. I don't think he expects him. This could be trouble. There's 2 players now against 1. Malcolm does not realize where these guys are. And he's been picked up. That is huge. He could have done so much for his side if he just checked the corners a little more. But Zam slowing down the push back towards B by taking down Crema and even get himself onto this B site. He might have some trouble from Apricot very soon if Apricot actually looks that way. Not going to go for the frag there. Apricot, I'm not sure if he just doesn't see him or what, but that could have been stopped there, and it's going to mean pretty much the B flag now back in the hands of InFamouS, but it was lost for a second.
What's so weird is you explain like the playstyle of Exertus, where they just keep hammering away at one flag until they eventually get it. It really fits on a map like this that's so linear. You know, obviously you think of Zava, it's kind of like a triangle style, at least the layout of the flags, but this one's pretty much a straight line here, and they're starting to do extremely well in it. But right now, as you can see, InFamouS have a tri-cap here. Tony, the last man, over towards this A flag, trying to maintain it, at least stall for a little bit of time. They are being back-capped by C at the exact same moment. So right now, InFamouS, they need to make a move, or they could actually get a 2-1 back against them.
Well, keep your eye on the kill feed. Rose has found 2, so Tony now pretty much all alone at this A flag. He's got Firework behind him, a couple of players around here, and, well, at the moment, Kryzer just pretty much trying to maintain C. Here comes the respawns, here comes the commitment, though. 3 players from both sides coming in towards this top A flag. Malcolm goes in, finds Tony. He needs to keep following this up. They need to keep them locked down. Zam finds Melisium. This is going very well so far. AC setup is now held. There's 1 man still alive here for the InFamouS side. It's Crema, the 1 man you'd probably want out of everyone, but he's under pressure. Rose comes around, finally takes him down. But my God, the time even allowed for a respawn to come out for Tony, and he's back on towards A. B being challenged, C being challenged. These sites are turning hands so damn fast.
They definitely are here, and I'm really wondering why Exertus is still committing so many men towards the A flag. They saw 3, 4, 5 people there. They could have just maybe, all right, let's go respawn the guy towards C because he's all by himself over there. Maybe we can take B, and well, eventually they do hammer it home. They do eventually get the A flag, but that was a lot of casualties to have.
But look at the tickets for
yeah,
InFamouS,
they're still
though.
up by 30.
They're playing for the bigger picture, I feel, rather than the fast caps, which is a nice bit of play. However, I don't usually see them in the AB setup, so I'm not sure if they're as proficient in it. And this could mean trouble, because InFamouS, they're pretty damn good at that.
Yes, they are, and they will get the CB hold, it seems, though. They're getting back capped again at C, though we do have Zan, the last man standing, and Krem is actually waiting, looking towards that direction. And he's trying to cap C at the same point, but they're losing A at the same moment, and this is getting... I don't know, this is like InFamouS trying to, finally starting to fight back a little bit after they've been struggling this entire map so far, but they're still being shut down quite a bit. They pick up 3 frags over towards the C flag, though they're losing B, and they're still just struggling to get that deficit that they have, you know, back towards 0.
I'm looking where Exertus want to go. They need to convert A and C, basically. B is going to be overwhelmed pretty damn fast. Rose has split off towards A by himself. One man might stop them. It's going to be Tony. He does pick up fireworks, but he knows there's going to be another player here. Comes around the corner looking for this one man standing. It will be Rose. Nice work from Tony, taking down 2. If he gets the hat trick, he'll secure the site. Gets denied in the end by Zam, who's been the outstanding player here. Let's be serious for Exertus, doing absolute wonders on 13 to 10. But it's the work he's been doing. The kills he's been getting have been vital. B is now being fought over, and this could go the way of Exertus if they lock down this balcony.
Well, they do have 2 men working over towards it, as you see, getting right behind. I believe that's going to be Krema there, but Krema picks up the first one, looking for number 2 onto Malcolm. And let's see if he can get it. He's just playing this one very slow. He realizes what's at stake here. He even gets a respawn from a teammate right behind him here, and they just charge straight at him. And this should be their kill, but right now they're actually getting flanked right from the side. They do pick up 1, but they're going to actually lose out on this one. They're going to get the revives in. Exertus are going to get full control of that catwalk and C and maintain B at the same time. They're going to have the 2-1 here, but let's see if they can close out the half, because they need, in my opinion, a little bit of a hefty lead here in this first half to be able to come out the second one with a map victory.
Yeah, and this is vital play down on C. The long rotate from Heist. He's playing for the late game here. They expect maybe to lose out on A. They're going to leave their players where they are. Apricot has found the players on the C side. This is the one man who could stand in the way. Kryzer needs to be careful. He needs to make sure his eyes are in the right direction. Which side do they want? Because right now they could get triple capped. A is a harsh option to go for. They've won it out, but now they must get B back. They're going to push their resources in here as fast as they can to try and get the 2-1.
And Fireworks played that one so weird because he sat inside the A building. He like literally waited about 10-20 seconds, got 2 respawns on top of him, and then he decided to push in towards A. And it seems like this little bit of a sneaky play, getting those respawns onto that key man is, well, giving them advantage right now. 19 ticket lead here. They have B, they have A. But again, let's see how long they can maintain it, because InFamouS have proven that they can break these defensive holds that Exertus is putting up here. But again, they have 15 tickets left to work with. They have 3 men pushing towards that B flag here, and Kryzer and Wyroz are the only 2 men to defend against it, and they should eventually fall 1 by 1 here. But well, Wyroz took at least 2 with them in the end. But they will lose that 2-1 here. Oh,
and Apricot with such smart play, coming around on the flank there, really nicely done, reading the play very well. And he could actually even challenge out on A. This, however, is an issue. Wyroz there and Zam. Kryzer just needs to buy the attention of the team, maybe, you know, get around the backside and cause a bit of problems, and he's done just that. 2 kills coming in, gets denied on the 3rd, however. But right now, Fireworks needs to get back towards A, deal with the threat there, and hope that they can maintain down on C.
What's so weird is that, I don't know, right? We're talking about, you know, maintain a flag hold, maintain a 2-1 to really get a lead here, but the flags are turning so damn quickly. And right now, Exertus are going for the con of random respawns, constantly getting behind C over and over again. They're getting B right now at the same time. They're fighting out a 2v2 over at this A flag, and Avery's the last man alive, who will eventually be taken down. They're going to get a 2-cap yet again here, and it looks like they might have a 20-ticket lead coming out of this first half.
Not if Tony can do something now. He's the one player who can. He's got a couple of kills beside him. He can get some respawns in, which exactly what's happened, and they could maintain B and C. The resources, the time is not with Exertus. They need to respawn in 3 players here, and InFamouS are going to make this one hurt at the very least.
Yes, they are. We might even see like a sub-10 ticket lead in this one.
It could turn around.
They're just holding the spawns. They're just waiting. They have a good setup. As you can see, 3 men watching the cross in middle. There's no random respawns coming in behind them. So as long as they can pick up these frags, which they've proven on Zappa that they can do, they might even take the lead. They might even take the victory here.
Yeah, look at Melisium as well. He can come around the backside if they do start capping out on B. He needs to play this correctly, though. He's trying to find these players. He knows they're around, but they've already pushed off. They're focusing on C. They're focusing on A. InFamouS could have turned this, and they still might. This is huge play coming out. C is InFamous's. A is the final stand for Exertus. I can't believe they've near on let this one slip. 5 tickets to 3. This could go either way here.
It could, but with this 2-1 hold, I mean, this is their final push, and they have to pick up the kills now. They need to get on the flag right now because they have now officially lost the lead here. And it looks like they have finally won out on the firefight, but with 2 tickets left to go, with 1 ticket left to go, is that really a victory either way? And they actually do lose out in the first half. InFamouS come back with 2 tickets in that one. Not a great victory, but considering they were behind the entire time, I think they're going to be happy with that.
I think you have to take the victories when you can. And that was just sloppy play from Exertus towards the end then. They kind of forgot the fact that they're playing InFamouS. They kind of played this slightly lackluster game where they'd already thought they'd won. They didn't really think about the follow-on effect as much as they should have.
They forgot about Tony.
Yeah, Tony was in the one position that could have caused trouble, basically. And that may be slightly unlucky, but it's also, you know, down to Tony to get there. They had just about enough tickets to get 3 more respawns into a safe minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And
but they held them, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That was really nice to see. They just waited because they knew they could.
And that's perfectly fine. That's how you turn things around. Let's be serious here. We've seen Epsilon do that on one ticket before. This is not something new, but it's certainly amusing to see when Exertus, the one map that I saw them being very impressive on, pushing Fnatic to their limits, kind of let it slip here against InFamouS.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so weird because, you know, they were 80 tickets behind in the first map, but now obviously they're 2 behind, I guess, which really isn't even a deficit for them. But just the fundamentals, like you're saying, they let it slip. They had control.
Yeah.
They had it constantly throughout the majority of the game, but then out of nowhere, they're just like, all right, we can relax, guys. We got this in the bag. And they lose it. I mean, if you slip like that, and a team like InFamouS will take it away from you.
But they do know how to beat InFamouS, so that's the more important factor here. They've found out their weaknesses. They found out how to play them. If they play a smarter, more disciplined game now, it could go a lot better. I'm hoping they do that. I'm hoping they kind of find out, you know, what went wrong towards the end. Then, okay, it was a lack of discipline here. We pushed too fast. We were too slow. Whatever it was, they need to discuss it now and try and fix those issues before the second half kicks off. Because I think we're about 10 seconds away. 2 tickets is nothing. If one team plays out of their skin, they play a solid game, you can easily get a 30-ticket lead against anyone as long as you play a safe game.
You can get a 100-ticket. I mean, we've seen before on this one as well. True. But let's go drop you right in the game here because we're kicking this one off. Countdown has officially finished. Now I see swapping sides. InFamouS now on the US side here, and Exertus over on the Chinese side. And let's see how they defend B this time because we saw InFamouS go
doing the
for
normal thing. Here we go. This is what's become a new part of the game here. Playing around towards the A flag pickup, losing out on maybe 10, 20 tickets maximum, and then pushing down towards B. It's slightly smarter, it's slightly safer, and then you don't lose out on the tickets of respawns. However, it does allow players like Heist to get into a slightly more aggressive stance. They can kind of hold this inside area, but then he can get swarmed as well. It's down to a couple of 1v1s. Heist doing a good job, though, and those tickets are going to start getting a little low for InFamouS.
Yes, they are here, and Exertus, obviously the red team here, they have gotten control of A. They've lost out a couple of firefights, actually, with, like I said, Hist picking up a couple of kills there, but they're getting B slowly, though I think that's actually quickly going to change as we do finally have InFamouS just swarm over the B flag here. And InFamouS, I feel like they changed their playstyle completely from that first game, where they're just kind of more about, all right, let's play like Exertus is. Let's just swarm these flags. Let's not play it smart. Let's not, you know, keep a couple of men at these flags. They keep constantly, at least in the last half, had 1 man in that C building the majority of the time, just kind of waiting for the back caps. But that was it. Everyone else was just kind of free-for-all, doing some team deathmatch on that one. But either way, they had the 2-1. They finally had the lead in the beginning of the game that they didn't have last time here. And this is going to become very dangerous because the snowball effect is going to become real here.
Certainly will. Melisium not going to land that one, as cheeky as it may be. And Exertus have the positioning now to lock down A and B pretty damn well. Hopefully they can do, you know, an extended job here and actually try and find their footing a little longer, because at the moment, yeah, there's not enough of an extended hold for Exertus to get comfortable. They need to maintain A and B for a long time. It looks like InFamouS are trying to use the roadside to maybe get a little bit of pressure down. Heist moving up. There are players standing his way, and actually A is probably not the safest site to hit here.
Let me ask you something here as we do see this game developing more. Do Exertus look comfortable to you? They seem like they can't really get a spot that they want to be at. Like, they get a 2-1, but then they can't get in the actual spots to hold it. Like, they can't get that nice line drawn across the map. They're always seeming to fight against the grain here. And right now, they're losing out on A at the same time here. Crema and I believe Hist pushing in. Crema does get taken down. Hist, last man standing up against Zam here. And he does pick up the kill. So they will pick up A. They have C, and they have the 2-1 yet again. 13-ticket lead right now, but obviously with only 2 ticket in the first half, that's not bad.
Yeah, any advantage right now is a bonus. It's still at that initial scrappy stage in the game where no one's really got their footing down yet. It's a little bit back and forth.
Every flag's up for grabs right now.
Yeah, pretty much. If you're fast enough, if you're quick enough, if you find that one little flaw, then you got the site pretty much. Hopefully they can find maybe a slightly smarter way of playing this one out, play a little bit, you know, more stable. And we're just seeing the 1v1s defining who wins the site. I want maybe another minute to see if there's going to be something a little bit more secure than this, because when a team is stuck in the middle on B with that flag, you know it's just because it's scrappy right now. Exertus can push back up towards A finally, and they might get the 2-1. But they have no one ready and a little bit more aggressive towards those B buildings. Maybe Malcolm's the closest, but they've left the A row completely open. No one is really waiting and willing to challenge down the street. Finally, they get a player out there, but look at the ground gained already. This is just Exertus being a little sloppy.
It is, and again, not being comfortable at all here. But at least Malcolm's played a pretty good game from that spot in the A build. He's able to pick up at least 1 kill, but they haven't stopped the flank completely around Melisium. You can see he knows there's a man right above him here. It's Yroz. We're going to find out who's going to win the 1v1. I'm going to talk with Yroz here just to see if he gets the spot on him. And he does, and he gets the kill, so he stops the back flank for now. But Hist is still here. We have another man to his side, Crema, and we know how deadly Crema was on that first map. But they're still having a hard time of breaking through here. They're still trying to win out on that, key 1v1 or maybe 2v2 that they need to finally go for the push. And here it comes. 4 men charging in. They actually take down everyone that's there. Wyraz and Fireworks get taken down, and they get the revives in. So they will have a back for themselves. 112 to 105 tickets. Again, it's still anyone's game, funny enough, in this game.
But I like this. Apricot not being committed up towards A. Smart play, leading him back to slow down the back C cap. Very nicely done. He goes down, but it doesn't matter. The time allowed then gives them a chance to get down towards B, because the amount of players they committed towards A then meant that B was vulnerable, that C was vulnerable. And of course, Exertus will read that, picking up a BC hold. But the time bought has allowed these guys to start pushing down towards B already, and they should be able to at least challenge here, maybe pick up the flag.
Looks like Exertus are going to maintain it for a little bit longer. They pick up the 2 kills they need so far. Abridge didn't get a revive in, but it doesn't matter in the end.
Sam!
Yeah, he comes out huge for his team right there, and it's a full squad wipe, I think. Yeah, Melisium just respawned in towards the back of C, getting the random one in. But look at this. I like the read Exertus has. Because of Kreiser over towards Catwalk, he saw the respawns. He knows, and let the rest of his team know, that A is wide open. Let's take it. Let's get the 2-1. But the thing is, to me, they threw 3 men back towards that right now. I think that's a little bit of an overcommitment, because you could be set up right now for the cross coming back in through that A road. And yeah, they do pick up 2 kills, so it does work out in the end, but that could have been a very bad spot for them to be in.
I agree to a point. Kreiser knew that there may be one player heist, don't know what you're doing. They could have assumed that maybe there was going to be one player pushing this road, but they knew that the vast majority would be down here because Kreiser couldn't see them. So A is a great place to lock down the inside buildings, because you get the dog walk section. So they knew that that was where they're going to head, and they can always push down from it. So it's smart play, but it's a little bit confident. But still, it could work out for them.
Right now, they do lose out on that A hold, and they lost 3 men for it. And they actually have a, Malcolm respawned in towards Kreiser, and he's in a really interesting position. He's looking up towards B. He's looking on the staircase. He's actually charging in by himself. But he picks up at least 1 kill here. He's looking for maybe number 2, but he does, at least his teammate eventually get taken down here. But he's still holding up a lot of people on InFamouS. They'll get a couple of respawns in as well. He does drop, though, and right now it's 81 to 86 here with the lead in Exertus' hands so far. But A and B back in favor of InFamouS. And we still, even 5-6 minutes in, we haven't seen either team get comfortable here.
Definitely not. And I think it's a mark of a very even game. The play styles are very similar in this. I like this play, the slow A push maybe. I think they're being kind of caught onto. But still, Tony could be in trouble here. He's got 3 players moving in towards him. He's unaware of most. He's spotted out 1. He does go for the shot. He gets Wirrows down. He knows there's going to be another. He does not expect Fireworks to be so damn close. But it's bought time for Melisium to get in on the respawn. So these nades might hurt a little, but at the moment, they're still maintaining this A flag. They're going to overmatch on it 2-1. But he can get respawns in because of the lack of pressure. So it's going to be evened out. The nades hurting Tony a little. And here comes the push. Exertus trying to lock this one out. Nice work. Picking up Tony there, Kreiser. And that will be A1 over.
But that was not a good take, though. They actually spawned every single person that they had at A again, even though it was only 1 man.
Push down to B, though. It's the safer push down.
The thing was, I was thinking, with 4 men spawning at A, that InFamouS would be able to get B flag a little bit quicker and be able to get set up, but it looks like they haven't really been able to. Exertus, I guess, rotating just quick enough here. Though there's still a lot of controversy over at this B flag from both teams, still trying to fight for it. And at least it's a nice spawn in from the backside over towards that street on your top side of the screen there. But again, A being flanked for, the 20th time here on this half. And again, no team can really get the position that they need here. A will be capped over with 4 men from InFamouS spawning in towards it. But it's a 1-ticket difference between these 2 teams. And Exertus quickly just heading back towards C. They're going to get the 2-1 yet again here. And it looks like they might be able to pull off a victory here in the second half.
I love how close this game is. I really do. Every team, every player playing very, very well. No one really having an exceptionally bad game. It's just kind of keeping each other at bay, keeping this really fast rotate game on the go. And it may take a team to go a little bit more dangerous, but I like this play from Tony coming around the backside of Wirrows, understanding the play style and knowing where they're going to come from. He does get the assist there. Apricot will pick up the kill, and B being slowly chipped away on. However, Malcolm could sneak through here, but he's going to go for the B cap, or the B stop cap, and I'm not sure if I agree with it. I would have liked him to maybe push through towards A and go for the challenge there.
All right, now.
He's doing a good job, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, definitely. And Exertus, they just swarm over B. And the thing was, we always talked about, Catwalk and Dogwalk. If you can hold one of them, that's good. But if you hold both, that's amazing. And that's exactly what Exertus did right there. They held Dogwalk and Catwalk, and they were able to close in on that B flag so damn quickly. But it's left them weak at A. It's left them weak at C. They will go back and cap A at the last second here. But still, 56 to 46. The game's not over just yet here. And InFamouS, they have not really... I feel like they're struggling to figure out what to do here because they're not winning out in the firefights that they did so easily on Zavod.
No, definitely not. It's a little bit of a different game, and this is why I like the Exertus side on this map. They play really nicely within corridors. They seem to understand how it works out a little better. If they're out in the open, they may struggle a little bit. I'm not sure why, but it just seems their playstyle kind of suits it. I'm going to have a little look through the guns they're running with. Pretty much everyone on the angle grip there, and Still Heroes with the no silencer on this time. He's just got the stubby grip, but they just seem to play a little bit better in this sort of map style. In these very linear corridors, they're able to lock it down and understand the rotates. At the moment, however, we're seeing a massive commitment going very, very wrong for the InFamouS side up towards A. It's not going well. Zam is in a perfect position to pick up a good couple of kills. He's got down 2. He gets denied on the 3rd. And finally, Tony is able to push forward. Kremer comes in, but there's the reply straight away. Tony is now the last man alive. He's trying to hold these guys back. This is a last-ditch effort pretty much, because let's look how this one's going. This could be a triple cap if everything goes right for Exertus.
And it will be. And you see InFamouS, they're struggling just in their strategy alone. They sent 3 or 4 men from that B side over towards A immediately because they realized, you know what, we don't feel confident in winning out these firefights at B. And they try to go for the back cap on A. They lose out in that one though. With the men that respawn, and they might be able to have it, you know, eventually here. But look at this, 52-12, the biggest lead we've seen so far on this map here. And Exertus, they're looking to take it to map number 3 on Goal Mode Railway. I think they can do it as long as they can just maintain this hold on A, or not even hold A, just delay them as long as they possibly can. Because with 6 tickets, you're not really going to come back from this one.
No, definitely not. 5 tickets left. Final push now coming out. Tony is nowhere to be found. He's not in the position that can turn this one on its head. 1 ticket left, and there we have it. InFamouS with a bit of an issue, to say the very least, then. Struggling.
Yeah,
the big Pimpin
I guess our producer wasn't noticing that I was standing up because I had to jump in the seat.
Scumbag producer.
Yeah,
But no,
nice.
I do want to point out we had some great play coming out from these two then. Interestingly enough, I was surprised that they got to that point, though. I thought InFamouS would have locked that one down. Don't get me wrong, Exertus had a very good playstyle on it before, and I kind of want to take you through that. I'm going to have a little go at the tactics there. But, you know, for me, they played a very unique style that only plays to their kind of strategy that is a little like InFamouS used to be, which is the more annoying part. It's like InFamouS should know how to counter this because they used to play a very similar style.
I want to say something, but it's going to sound like I'm insulting Exertus at the same time. That's the thing. And to me, it seemed like...
Go ahead.
Okay, so you would know this, obviously playing, you know, Call of Duty professionally, is that when you play against a team of certain caliber, you kind of get used to that style. You get used to that kind of play. When you play against a team that might necessarily be at that caliber, they catch you off guard with their strategy, and sometimes you forget exactly what to do. I feel like that might have been what we saw there, because we've seen InFamouS as being a very strong team, but I don't want to downplay how well Exertus still did in that game.
I think this is the one map where they can do that sort of play on, and I do want to kind of take us through as to why, if the producer could just drop us in on my screen real quick here. It was a very unique style that they played out, and they played to their strengths. They had one player generally sitting out here on the open area on the catwalk. Everyone else focused around here and around C, and pushing just kind of in between these two sections. And that's pretty much all they ever did. It was this really unique style that not many use, to be fair, and it's always quite interesting to see how they play it out. And it was smart as well. Let's be serious. One of the individual plays that really impressed me as well was putting Malcolm here. They had, you know, one player here who was taken down, but they had already pushed up 2. They waited for these guys to come back to try and challenge, and they just completely turned around 180 and then took B. It's just this really smart play, really quick reactionary stuff. And I was surprised we didn't see more of the back C hold, but that's how they play it out.
And you know, because I think the teams aren't ready just yet for Go on Railway, can we actually take a look at that map? Because this is one of the maps we seldomly see. You know, at least personally, in the cups I've casted, I hardly ever see it, because it's one of those maps that are just kind of so weird to kind of play here. But I want you to kind of take us through it just to kind of show, you know, the potential early strategy of it. And obviously, while you get that set up, we can take a look at our pretty faces again. Yeah. My collar has been put back down.
You've not been Big Pimpin' anymore.
It's not popped anymore.
Okay, no more Big
But
Pimpin'.
I mean, right away, in your experience, like how often have you seen it? Because I've seen it maybe this couple or this season alone. Twice, maybe. Yeah.
And there's generally quite a good reason. I'll kind of show you why right about now. And that's mostly because of teams like Epsilon and a couple of others. And Dignitas to an extent as well. Let's not write them off. So if we jump in on my screen, I'm going to take you through the map pretty much very quickly here. And the main reason is I'm going to blame it on one guy, the reason we don't see this map. Asterix. This kid, right, just sits right up here, chilling out the whole time and having a great time. He picks up like an MG-style gun, very heavy, lots of ammo, and a good time to it. And he will just destroy this entire map like this. This is what happens, okay?
So he covers that whole area by himself.
Everything, literally, absolutely everything, and it's just absolutely devastating. They're able to maintain C, which is a rarity. Very few teams do that. They use it as the jump-off site. They're able to maintain B, and they leave A being cut off. They just leave A on its own, pretty much. They don't really care too much. So if they maintain these two, and then lock down the street cross, they're golden. And the problem is, InFamous played against Epsilon when Epsilon did that playstyle, but they actually turned it around and beat them because Epsilon thought they'd done the job already, they underestimated them, and then InFamous turned it back around. So it's a map that has possibility, but we rarely get to see it play because there's very hard counters that make it extraordinarily difficult to do.
Well, we'll be able to see, obviously, in this one, and I believe we're going to be getting into game soon. Just a few seconds here as the teams are just letting them know that they are ready to go here. But also that the starting game in this one is really key because, to me, this is one of those few maps that doesn't really have an extended, everyone just grab a flag period. Like, obviously, on Dawnbreaker, you kind of have like 2-3 minutes usually to kind of just grab flags over and over again. But usually in this one, about, I'd say, 2 minutes in, everyone has their solid ground and has their footing on where they want to hold. That's just like, this is what I personally see on this one because... with all the buildings, I mean, depending on if you're a team that's going to take a lot of engineer classes to destroy them, you have an easy spot to set up at.
It's dependent on teams, completely and utterly.
Yeah.
InFamous played... Okay, so the first half, the reason they lost is because they left Epsilon with so many buildings to utilize, which is where Asterix and players like that, which I wouldn't be too surprised if Exertus play a similar style to. They left all the buildings up, they didn't touch them, they played around it, and it kind of went very badly wrong. They had like a 60 to 70 ticket deficit in one of the cups there. And then, surprisingly, they learned very quickly on the half. They're like, okay, we need to switch up something here. And they took down all the buildings. They suddenly adapted. They suddenly went, okay, this is the reason we're losing. Let's destroy the cover and play a ground game, which they're very good at. InFamous, if you put them on an even playing field, excuse me, they're probably better than most as individuals. They are very strong individual players. Like, as we saw with Kremer, they need to be allowed to do that, though. They need to work that one out. If they struggle, I can imagine we'll see a lot of engineers coming through. At the moment, though, it's Exertus. They're all kind of going for it. Exertus have a similar style. I think we're live in the game, though, so let's dive on in.
Yeah, let's see how this one kicks off here. Obviously, going to have Exertus on the Russian side, InFamous over on the Chinese side here. And well, we see 3 engineer classes in total here, 2 on Exertus. Trying to take away those buildings, it seems, right away here. And I was actually kind of expecting...
They've done Dignitas. Exertus have done the exact Dignitas style. Exactly the same. They've taken down the walls that we see them do as well. I'm curious to see if they did this one through here. No, so not exactly the same. But it's what gave them the B and the C setup straight away. And they had the cheek to even go for the A flag. They left C light, but they put Kryzer back here. So they've adapted a really nice in-between of 2 teams here. A little bit of the Dignitas destroy the cover to give you the quick pickup on B. And then a little bit of sitting back in this position from Asterix. So this could work out really nicely for them.
I actually almost expected them to play like Epsilon did, to have that Asterix spot used, just to kind of, you know, it worked on us. Let's see if we can work it on Exertus. But you know what? They're like, forget that. We're not even going to try it. We're not going to bother giving away those tickets early on. And like you said, using that kind of a Dignitas strategy this time. So they're going to be able to cap A here in just a few seconds. If they do get that last man killed in that building, it's going to be a Crema there. But Exertus, A, B, C, all picked up here. And InFamous... they're struggling here. I'm honestly a little bit surprised to see them struggling right now.
InFamous are just making no impact. Finally with the kills coming in, but Exertus played a beautiful mixture of 2 teams, like I was saying, and it paid off so damn well. And if they can keep this up, maybe if they keep a player back here, last time around Kremer would always sit at the back of these kind of rocks there and play the jump off C player. If they could maybe adapt that with maybe Malcolm pushing out, it looks like he wants to be that player to get over towards C. But they're being a little bit weak now. You can clearly see they kind of took note of what other teams were doing, but to make it your own, you've got to be able to play it very well. So hopefully they can kind of sink into the right positions. At the moment, they are at a 2-1, but they have Malcolm in this sort of spot. I'm not sure if there's anyone here to defend it. No. And already, this could be another 2-1. This could be an issue, though. Well,
there wasn't until we saw Hiss actually get the respawn over towards C. He realized it's being kept over, and they start pushing it. He's looking for that one man at that flag. It's at least stopped being capped here, just neutralized. And they get the fight. They get the kill, and they will get C back for themselves. So they have A, they have C here, and they're working on B at the same time. It seems like it took them, you know, about a minute and a half to really get a kick up or a kick on their butts here to really get going. But they have gotten it. Now they're down in currently tickets right now. But we'll see how that changes in the next few minutes.
Yeah, and Fireworks still trying to be a nuisance. And I like teams that actually count C as a flag they really want. It's been a bit of a change. Normally it was always like the BA setup was the better one. But now they're kind of including C into this mixture. I like that. I think it's a unique difference. And Malcolm splitting off on his own towards A. And this is what we'd normally see towards C. It'd be that one-man run-up. However, it's a one-man split over towards A these days. So tickets are getting evened out. And B is going to be a massive battle between these 2.
All right, now more men equals usually a win for you. And InFamous had 4 there. They split one man back towards C just to kind of wait for maybe a back cap, which won't actually be coming. Just as soon as I say that, Zam actually does get a respawn in towards it. But as you're seeing A flag right now, not a lot of action Like you're saying, just one man there, usually. One man pushes for it by himself, and it's kind of just, if you get the luck of the kill, you get that flag. But C and B both being maintained, but look at this, 3 men closing on that C flag here. It's up to, well, no one now as Hist and Lucian get taken down to defend it. But now it's all in the hands of Apricot and Crema. They need to maintain B here, but they're falling one by one. Crema the last man standing, and they might get actually tri-kept here if they don't get the respawns in quick enough.
Yeah, Crema was around the back of B, which is not probably the easiest one to come in on. And now we're going to have to see InFamouS now in the position of having to push across the road. If Exertus had got better set up for this, they could have held them on this road position. But you can see a couple of players sneaking through, a couple getting those respawns in early. Tony going for the kill there, picks up Kreiser. So B a little bit more open for the taking, and Crema will push forward and try and get this one unlocked. So I'd still say Exertus in a good position, but they need to maintain this. They need to stop playing for the... I want to get a triple cap. They need to play for what they're given, and we are seeing a couple of those buildings being destroyed. They're trying to bring it down to the very kind of ground-based game, and it might work out for them.
It's taken them a long time to get it to that point, though. Like, they've still, I mean, yeah, they took down a lot of walls, but they're still leaving a lot of the walls still up currently, and right now they are currently losing by, 4 tickets right now. They will get a 2-1 against them, and now going to be fighting back from this C flag here. This is their back foot of the attack, and it looks like they're going to commit quite a few men towards it. I think they realize it's usually ran a little bit light by the side of Exertus, and they might be able to kind of use that against them.
If I could choose the player I was coming up against, I would not want Malcolm. He's been on point so far. Does put out one. I'm probably leaving the others towards Zam. He knew Zam was there to support him. He came in, picked up the kill of the one player rushing forward, and they can hold them back. The big challenge now coming out on B, Fireworks has to move himself. The cover just got absolutely destroyed. You're seeing the building come tumbling down. So that is B now pretty much open for the taking. These walls will fall soon. The school building on the side is not looking pretty at all. And this means the buildings are completely open, and it's allowing Exertus to dominate the game pace again. They prefer this open style, and it's like the old InFamouS up against the new InFamouS. It's quite amusing to see.
Exertus are bringing the fight to InFamouS over that C5. They sent Wyros and Fireworks straight at him at the C flag, and in the end, they do end up getting taken down. But they delay him for a little bit here, but it's still a big mistake in my eyes, because InFamouS now getting the B flag here. They still have that man back towards C. Tony going to be sitting back there, and now Melisium trying to use the buildings, or at least the rubble, for a little bit of cover here as he's working towards that B flag with the rest of his team here, just to defend against it, because Exertus are still throwing a lot of men towards it. But now, look at this. 2 men up, and they're all at the B flag. Melisium could easily go for a back cap on A if he wants.
We'll see what he does here.
Wow.
67 tickets left with InFamouS. We're seeing the pushing from Exertus towards B. Finally, Heist heads over towards A, and they're waiting on this Firework to get this spawn. There is a player. There's 2 players. This could be big here. He's found them. He's got the bit of a drop there. Malcolm comes in towards Apricot. He knows there's more. He's going to have to come back and help out on the flag, and Crema goes down, gifting C over towards Exertus. They have the 2-man set up on B. This could be extended very nicely now.
And I'm looking at this, I'm wondering, where is InFamouS going wrong? It seems like their aim is not on point anymore. And they sometimes have a man advantage easily, maybe even 2, and they still lose out on 2 or 3 people during that firefight here. They are definitely struggling. They are down in tickets. And honestly, their hopes of playoffs are kind of crumbling right now, because this is a team that both of us expected to really not whitewash Exertus, but to come out with a clean victory here, and they are struggling just to even take the deficit back to 0.
Yeah, I expected Exertus to do well, but maybe not this well. And Kreiser and Zam picking up a nice little double. Crema and Melisium going down, leaving B a little light on defenders, means that it's going to be a 2-1 again. And InFamouS need to really step up their act here. They are struggling even to cross the road.
All right, now we're going to see at least 2 men work towards the south side as we see them getting the respawns in. Avery leading the pack there towards that B flag. It's actually 1 or 2 men there, but Kreiser and Malcolm, this pair, he's sitting really far back at B. Actually, you can't even see him on the stream because he's so far back there right now. And he's just waiting for him to cross in. And right now, you can see that they're having a tough time of really penetrating this B flag. Fireworks gets a nice kill towards C, and now they're applying the pressure toward that C flag. And this is immediately right when InFamouS got off C, they finally realized, okay, we have C. We're good on this one. But just as they get comfortable with having a single flag held, Exertus catch them off guard. They pick up the kills, they get the cap, and they force them back on 1.
Yeah, and Fireworks is being an absolute beast at the moment. 20-7. He picked up 2 then, securing C. Come over to support at the B site now. He's got a good idea. They're going to be coming from A. Might be in trouble from the backside of C. He's going to spawn out 1 just coming off the push from those A buildings. Going to try and get a little bit of a closer glimpse on it. 31 tickets now left with InFamouS. They are struggling to make any sort of impact. And sticking on board with Fireworks, he's trying to find out where these players are, trying to be a little cautious and then push forward when he knows. But it was a little bit early on that one. Doesn't matter. He gets the assist there with Rose, taking down Melisium. And I've got to say it, the play coming out from Exertus is brilliant, but they need to turn that into sights.
They do. I mean, at least right now, inside of InFamous have A and C. But again, Zam pushes towards C. He immediately gets the cap on top. That you're seeing Fireworks use the buildings that are at least left up to get some sort of control. And they get A off this at the same time. They're going to get a tri-cap here. And InFamous are struggling to even hold on to a single flag now. It's 59-26. C has been capped over. They're being taken down one by one by Kreiser as they approach that flag. He picks up now 2. I hate to say it, but InFamous, where have you guys gone from that first map when you had an 82 ticket lead to losing like this?
It's Exertus being comfortable, being able to play the game style they like. They've found their footing, and they're going to sit there and enjoy it. They remove all the cover, force InFamous to play this ground game that they're just not very good at anymore. That was their old strong point. That was where they used to really come into their own. And these days, it's a little weak. They've clearly found, you know, maybe something that works for them. And Jesus Christ, that CZ3A1 is absolutely ridiculous fire speed on it as the engineer class. I didn't really realize how quick that damn thing goes. So it's interesting to see that one suitably in play. And at the moment, InFamous have one out on B, but here comes the challenge. Slowly but surely, Fireworks peers up. But is that the bait out play? Is anyone slowly working over towards C? We are seeing Zam picking up the kill. That's opened up the C site. We're going to see the retraction from Tony coming back, so they need to completely hold a 2-1 now for the rest of the game.
So far, they've been able to maintain it for, I think, a longer period currently than they have this entire time. But Malcolm won't actually get taken out as well towards the B fight. Avery pick it up too, so he maintains B for a little bit longer. Seeing C still being attacked, and that will be capped over by Exertus finally. They're just throwing men in it. They have the resources to kind of to do that with, to at least work with. And Melisium, though, getting the back cap at his. So InFamous, trying to minimize the loss they'll have in this first half to make the second half potentially easier for them. But even at that point, they still struggle this entire half right now. It's 38-4, and right now they still maintain the 2-1.
But Exertus are getting a little sloppy here. They're going to have to pull themselves back in line because they started to lose out on a lot of tickets, but they have picked up B, and those 3 tickets should quickly move away from InFamous. We're seeing the final challenge coming down on the B side. Kremer moving in. 1 ticket now remains. 33 on the half. That is a big halftime score there for InFamous. For Exertus. InFamous are in a little bit of trouble now.
This is the first time Exertus has had the lead out of the first half in this best of 3 so far, and with 33 tickets, not bad. But now we look at the other side. You look at InFamous versus Epsilon. I believe you cast that game back in Cup 2. They got demolished in the first half, but second half they came back. Do you think they have the read on Exertus now? It seems like at the end they might have had finally the little bit of an idea of what to do.
Yes and no, because to beat Epsilon, they had to do what Exertus did to them. They had to remove all the cover, because Epsilon likes the cover game. They like to sit up in those high buildings, use it like that, play their own game style, dominate on C and B, leaving A on its own. And then InFamous on the half went, okay, that's not working for us. We can't beat that straight up. How can we change it? Okay, we need to get the engineers going straight away, take down that cover to deny it so we can at least challenge him, and then try and pick up the sites, which went well, and they were able to turn it around. But then you look at this game, immediately Exertus went, well, you know what? We like the ground game too. We're the new you, basically. You know, a season ago, that was InFamous. They're the ones that played this kind of really in-your-face ground game where it's constant fire, constant pressure. And they've gone, well, how can you adapt now? Are you going to go to Epsilon's playstyle? Are you going to pick up, you know, Asterix's gun and go and sit in that top corner? We already know how to counter that. We watched you guys do it. So I'll be very interested if InFamous can actually turn this around, because they're going to be stuck in between a rock and a hard place pretty much here. So it's going to be a hard game for them to work out, to say the very least.
All right, well, we'll be finding out. Obviously, we can just drop you in a game now since they're going to be swapping sides here. And so far, it's 1-1 in this best of 3. InFamous down 33 tickets in this first half. The winner of this game will go on to play against, I guess, the winner of Epsilon and No Mercy. Not sure what's actually happening in that game so far. But I want to say we could say it's safe to say that Epsilon's going to win. But then again, we had InFamous as being like the clear victor in this one.
Yeah, true.
Maybe Exertus fighting back for one map. But here we go, 10 seconds to go. And what do you think we're going to see in the beginning out of InFamous here on that Russian side?
Blowing up nothing, because they don't want to do what they did in the first half. Hope the Wiros doesn't destroy too much cover. Pretty much. That's all I can say. But we're going to see what Exertus do. It looks like the engineer going straight across. A little bit of a cheeky challenge on the road from Heist. Nothing really connecting, however. And we're going to see a CB initial pickup coming out from InFamous. 0 buildings taken down. 0 cover removed. They want to play this out as vanilla as possible. So at the moment, we are seeing, as I said, BC in the hands of InFamous. Nice push on the street from Zam. A little open, though. And this is smart play, though. Kreiser taking the long rotate and trying to come in towards C.
All right, well, it's going to work out for him, too, because there's only 1 man there. He catches him off guard. He's still neutralizing the flag as they commit 2 more men. InFamous are putting 3 men towards that C flag to maintain it. They don't know how many men are there currently. And little do they know, it's actually 2 now, only a 1 up from what it was prior. But they're going to push out. They're looking for the kills here. But will they actually pick them up? That's the real question. It looks like they have been able to do it. So InFamous finally getting comfortable, it seems. After Well, to me, they look like they're kind of in their moment right now, where they haven't been able to get like that in the past, what, map and a half?
All I'd say is watch Exertus and wait for them to pick up Engineers. They've got a lot of tickets to play with compared to the previous maps, so don't be too worried. But if it drops below 100, I think we're going to see Engineers coming into place, pretty much.
Well, let's see, because honestly, we do have a little bit of time before then. We have a back cap by Hist on that A flag. He's going to pick it up here, at least keep it neutralized for a little bit longer, as he does get taken out by a grenade. But he's at least pulled 3 men back there. There's 2 men. Now 1 fireworks over towards the C flag here in the meantime, but finally InFamouS, they just look comfortable. And that's a scary thing to have a team be at, as we saw with Exertus. But let's see what happens, because InFamouS, they need to maintain this for a long time. They need to get some sort of lead here. They need to get some momentum built back up, and at least their morale built back up for their team after losing that first half. And Exertus, they need to figure out what's the game plan here. You think it's going to be the RPGs shooting down the buildings? And let's see if it actually goes that way. I would agree with you, because it worked so well for them in the first half.
We'll see. We'll see how this comes down to, and they need to make sure. You see that what the 1v1s they're losing out on. Apricot being up in the buildings, being in cover, and they're struggling to forge an even 1v1. Warose is an engineer, but he's been that since the start. We need to see if anyone else joins in with him. Last time we saw about 2 running with them. He's doing great work with this CZ3A1. I'll be interested, and there we go. It's dropped below 100. Malcolm's picked it up, and I think we're going to start seeing it going what it was.
All right, well, let's see what's going to happen, because they're down, what, 50+ tickets right now?
Yeah, they need it.
That's a lot to come back from. It really is at this point. And let's see if they can do anything about it. They have gained B. They're going to get C here in a quick second, it looks like, or at least neutralize it, as they have 2 men pushing towards it on the side of InFamouS. But they have 2 men themselves. They actually have 3 there. Zam off to the streets, off to your left side, just kind of waiting for anyone to push in. Maybe give it that flank if they do need it. And right now, they picked up the 1 kill. They're looking for maybe another. But finally, Exertus getting the 2-1 here. They're trying to even this up just a little bit more here in this game. And InFamouS, they need to come up with a big play here. They need to get this 2-1 back, and it looks like it's going to come in the form of B, because as you can see on the top-hand side of your screen, there's 3 men pushing towards it, but 1 gets taken down. Immediately revived back in, but it's going to be a 3-on-2 at this B flag.
They should have already split someone out towards A. Fireworks has eventually got there, but that should have been quicker. They've left it a little to chance, because this back spawn is coming out quick for Melisium. They should have been there a little faster. That's frustrating to see. A team that's now going to be in trouble. Apricot can go for the challenge. He gets taken down. Great work there, and now they can send Malcolm back maybe to pick up C, excuse me. So it's a little bit of a catch-up game now, but I've got to say it, Exertus looking a little bit better.
They definitely are. I mean, they closed out to only about a 40 ticket deficit so far. Called back at least 10 of them. They have a lot more to go here. Obviously, 33 tickets is the threshold. If InFamouS drop below 33, that will have been the game, and we will see Exertus advance on into the winner's final. All right, now they still have a lot of tickets to work back on. Tony going to be the only man back towards B. As you can see, he's trying to defend from multiple angles, but he gets taken down. There's 3 men just swarming that flag, and there's not much you can do in that situation. They eventually do fall. Exertus will pick up the B flag. They still hold A, even though we see at least Hist moving in towards the A flag at the same time. But they are exactly where they want to be right now. They're getting some really good back spawns with Malcolm over towards C, and they are just picking up the kills.
Nice. Yeah, that's a real touch there. And if he can do some good work, that could have gone so much better for him. Sadly, not the case, however. It's left InFamouS in a little bit of a no man's land position. They don't have the big cover. They don't have the best positions, allowing now Exertus to get that AB hold. They can lock this one down, get a little comfortable.
This is where they were comfortable last half.
If they can hold them back here, leave them by C, just be like, okay, guys, you just sit back right here, and we'll try and get you on this cross. And you can see that happening. Exactly happening right now. Kryzer gets 1. Finally, a man slips through a little bit there. That's Tony just trying to do the job. And InFamouS, I think, are down to 4, though. This is trouble.
That is the worst time that this could happen for him. Avery did disconnect, it seems. And he'll be back hopefully very quickly, at least for the sake of InFamouS, because they just got 3 men wiped over towards that B flag, pushing in. Melisium, I wonder if he's just trying to hold on to C, maybe delay a little bit of time here, because obviously if you walk over, you get killed, you lose a ticket when you get the respawn in, but they need their 5th man back. I mean, they were already struggling with 5. How do you think they're going to do with 4 this time? Obviously not any better.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Let's be serious. Exertus did start turning it around.
Oh, yeah.
The initial start was very much in favor to InFamouS. We saw the adaptation from Exertus, and it started to work a lot better. But then, as you said, 4 players, it's not good. They can't leave 1 man being the kind of anchor at C. They're always going to be outnumbered wherever they go, and you can see that in position right now. They can push in towards B in these sort of spots, but as soon as the peaks start coming up, they can't really challenge. And this is a big issue. It's a big problem. I'm hoping they can kind of keep it at this sort of level as best they can until their player returns. But at the moment, it's not looking good.
Nope, that 50, 60 ticket lead they had is now down to less than 20. And they are going to be at least 2-1 for a little bit longer here. Crema just maintain C. What's your thoughts, though? If you look at the overview map, you can see that Exertus are just sitting between A and B. They're just waiting. They're not even trying to be super aggressive and get a tri-cap. They're just buying their time because they realize we have the man advantage. We have what we want held with the flags. We're slowly calling the game back here, so why kind of mix it up? Why change it?
Yeah, and this is smart stuff. This is a great display of a team who's got patience, who understands when to push, when to be slightly more defensive, and they can watch InFamouS's tickets just kind of slowly but surely work away from them, and that's what they got to do here. And I feel for InFamous because they could have worked with that lead a little more. Right now we're seeing it evening up a lot more on the scoreboard. Obviously the first half, keeping in mind this is now quite drastically in favor to Exertus, but it's what you would expect with a 4-player team against you.
Exactly, especially when, like you said, Exertus being patient. They're not trying to push their luck here.
Nope.
And they pick up the kills when they need to. They do the rotates when they need to pick up like the man advantage fights. And I hate to say it, but even with Avery coming back, I don't think they can do it. I think morale, they're just dead from this one. They had such a huge lead, 50 tickets in the beginning of this game. And yet, now they're struggling to get anything back. And you even see Tony and Crema kind of getting a little bit upset.
Yeah,
or at least I can see it on my screen.
Yeah, I feel pretty bad for them. It's always frustrating. But then again, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. It's not what you want to see. And, Exertus probably don't want to win a game that, people chalk up to being, oh, you only won that because they had 4. Let's be very honest here. Exertus were playing a brilliant game. They were really doing very well for themselves. They started to turn it around earlier on. And to see it coming down to this, I can imagine a lot of people will underestimate Exertus now. But they do need to be, given a lot of respect for the way they played on the first half here and now the second half. A couple more tickets remaining with InFamous, and I think they know this one's over.
I mean, yeah, you look at how Exertus played on Dawnbreaker. You look how they played the first half.
Yeah.
It wasn't the 4 men that made them win right now. Like they did a fantastic, above and beyond what I at least expected out of them in those 2 maps. I mean, Zavod, that was one side. I thought it was over. I was like, 82 tickets. How the hell are you going to come back from that? And right now, they did. I mean, obviously, they had a big lead on Dawnbreaker that they eventually lost, which was a little confusing. They kind of just let that 30, 40 ticket lead slip, but didn't matter. They came back in the second half, and then right here, they showed that they can do pretty well on Go Mode Railway, and that means they're going to be going on to the winners finals. Yeah,
and very well played to them in the end. They picked up the maps they needed to, and they deserved it, I've got to say.
And Epsilon 1-2-0, so it would be up Epsilon versus Exertus.
Interesting game.
Gonna be interesting, yeah.
Very interesting game. And I do want to quickly highlight what we saw on Railway there.
Let's
when it
show
was
you
in
guys.
the action, at least, so let's hop into my screen. The end result was this hold, basically. B and A being in the hands of Exertus. And the buildings they mostly focused on taking down were the cover towards here, here, and here. Just removing that away from it is a smarter bit of play. Because then there's no fire coming back in. They tried to leave these fairly standing over towards the southwest, so they could then shoot across. They can just keep this crossfire constantly, and the only issue is when maybe there's a couple of back spawns around here that can sneak around the side. But that rarely happened. We saw them get to this point. Then they lost that 5th player for InFamous, and that's when the issues arose. And I do feel bad for them in a way. It was quite frustrating to watch because InFamous did do a lot better. They started to understand a little more, but then we saw Exertus replying again by picking up that extra engineer once they dropped below that 100-ticket threshold. So,
and I like how on the map, actually, if you can just point it out real quick with your mouse, the buildings that you point out on the south side, how they kind of kept those up.
Yep.
With those buildings, you notice they had like 1 man in it or on top of it, and they spotted anyone crossing that road. And because of that, they always had the information of where they were going, and it gave them free kills.
It was always Malcolm sitting in there. If it was a setup and he saw, let's say, a couple of players pushing this side to go for the A push, he could then bring back another player, get them to sit around the actual A site. He can just shoot from above. Really smart play, good work within the team, and it's just exactly what you need to really set up these slightly unique holds that only get properly maintained when you have that good team play element together as a unit, because it's all very good and well having this overall strategy of, okay, we want the A and the B flag. Okay, well, how do we maintain them? It comes down to these small kind of, let's say little mini squads almost within the team where it's like, okay, well, Malcolm, you're with this guy. You're going to focus on trying to lock this one down, make sure they can't cross on the west side of the street, push out when you feel it's right. If we see 3 or 4 players pushing from C towards B on the east flank, Malcolm then might go, okay, well, we might lose B. So one player will stay on the A flag. Malcolm will rotate all the way around up towards C and then start pressuring from the back, either drawing players back away from B or picking up the C flag, either or. And it's a smart bit of play. It's dangerous because occasionally you will get challenged maybe 2v1 if you're too fast
Right,
on the
yeah.
rotate, or you might be outnumbered here and there. You might overextend. You may have slight less faith in your teammates to actually be able to defend B. And there's a couple of issues that can come from that, but nevertheless, it was really well played out by Exertus. I feel bad for InFamouS. Obviously, they do have another chance to work their way back into this. Let's be honest here. It's not the end of the road right now. But then again, I'm surprised, for one, that they played Exertus on Dawnbreaker. If they'd done their homework and read back through...
They chose Dawnbreaker too, which is the interesting part.
If you'd watched the previous games where these guys played, that would be my straight-up ban against them. You watch Fnatic against them, even if you spoke to like Too Easy or one of the other guys, they'd be like, they played really well. They played frustrating. When Too Easy gets vocal, you know he's getting annoyed. So for me, it's like, you've got to do your homework, guys. There's maps where teams are strong on. There's maps where they feel strong. And you need to get rid of them, because I think Dawnbreaker was the changing point here, because that's when they started to realize, okay, these guys can do some damage. And it's funny, I was speaking to Fnatic about, what's your strongest map then? Because we're discussing these teams, and I spoke to, I think it was Too Easy and then Drunks in separate occasions, and they said complete opposite maps. I think
was that different times, or was that the same time?
No, same day,
Okay.
same day. Too Easy said, okay, I like Locker and Zavod, I think, or something like that, like the kind of more close range exchanges. And then Drunks was like, yeah, we like the long range game. I was like, do you just like every map?
It's funny because, because Drunks, you could understand their picks based off of their play style. Drunks does the new Winghaven role. He sits back, he holds onto a flag, and eventually sometimes does push out. I believe it's him or it's Mort that do that.
Mort does the boring job.
Okay.
Summarized by Too Easy, someone has to do the boring job, and he does it the best. So... it's the way it works. Sometimes you have to be that boring play. You don't get the big kills, but the 1 or 2 kills you pick up will maintain you a site for, let's say, 30, 40 seconds.
True.
That's a massive amount of tickets. So it's kind of the give and take.
And one thing I do want to touch on before we go a quick break here is we saw, perfect Battlefield played right there, or beautiful Battlefield played, because sometimes we overplay how easy it is to get a 2-to-1 hold and maintain it. Like, for instance, to get set up correctly, because the smallest thing, just one person being in the wrong spot on the other team, catching off guard can screw you over. Or like we saw in there at Gomod Railway, when you get dug in the right spots, you can hold that forever, it seems. You can hold off against a horde of enemy players coming in. And that's really cool to see. That's really nice to see out of a team that isn't the normal top team that we always talk about here, for the show. All right, guys, so we will be coming back with Epsilon coming up against Exertus here. That's going to be a good game, actually. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen on that one. We're going to go to a quick little break here, but we'll see you guys right after.